to make a couple of introductions before I introduce our dignitaries up here, and that is Philip Smith from Congressman Hinchling's office. We're glad to have them represented here today, and Judge David Holstein is here today, so we thank you for coming. And it is a pleasure to have our good friend Betty Brown, Representative Betty Brown, with us, and she comes quite often to the campus and is a big supporter of the college, and appreciate her. And it's a great honor and privilege to have Speaker of the House Joe Strauss with us today, and appreciate them very much. I have a couple of things I want to give you. Last year, I got a calendar from Senator Nichols, and it had the pictures of a lot of the Texas legislators in it. And I sent a calendar back to him of our TVCC Cardinals cheer team. I said, this calendar is a lot better looking than the one you sent. And so I'm going to give you a complimentary. If you look at April, you'll notice an individual driving the fire truck in there. But anyway, also a special gift to you. I want you to put this on your desk. This is something that I made last summer and handed out to our staff, and it is a paperweight. Or you can use it to just knock the staff, when they get back in the head. But anyway, I wanted to give you a little bit of token of appreciation for you and remembering that you have come to campus. I was in Austin yesterday and meeting with my peers, the Texas Association of Community College Presidents, and one of the big items of discussion was the letter we received from Governor Perry, and your name's on it too, Mr. Speaker, about the 5% reduction, possible reduction in the state appropriations this year. And I asked my colleagues and peers, mentioned that you were going to be on campus, if they had any words of wisdom that I could share. I could not share any of their remarks. Of course, we're debating and discussing on how things can turn out for us on the state appropriations. And I was driving back. I got to thinking about muzzling the ox. As you know, Speaker, you may know, enrollment in community colleges is up tremendously. Just at Trinity Valley, we're up over 20% over the last year. A tremendous number for us. That's 1,000 extra students, 1,200 students. Muzzling the ox was so important that it's mentioned 3 times in the Scripture. And I think at a time when there's so much corn to be tread, we don't want to be muzzling the ox. And so anything that you can do to alleviate the 5% reduction to community colleges would be greatly appreciated. This is a time when students, our citizens, our voters are turning to the community colleges as a source of retraining and education to enable them to go out and find those jobs that they need to further benefit the Texas economy. And as the statistician in me, I was reading that University of Texas had reached a plan to reduce their budget. It was $29 million. I was just wondering, well, how much is Texas appropriations? University of Texas at Austin's appropriation is $280 million. They serve about 55,000 students. Well, I added up the appropriations for Trinity Valley, Tyler Junior College, Glenn College, Navarra, and Kilgore. We serve about 50,000 students. Our appropriations total up about $70 million. And I got thinking, $70 million for 50,000 students, $280,000 for 50,000 students. It didn't seem quite unbalanced there, but anyway, anything that you can do for us, I would have been remiss if I had not mentioned that in my remarks, and appreciate again everything that you do for us and will do for us in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yield to you and let you address all of those issues. No, I do very much appreciate TVCC opening your doors to us today, and especially everyone who's so busy and interrupting all of your morning activities. But I especially appreciate that you have helped me welcome the Speaker of the House of Representatives to Henderson County. That's very important, because in the coming days, as we talk about the needs of our district, as we talk about funding for schools, funding for infrastructure, funding for economic development, whatever we're working on at the time, it's important that our speaker has a picture in his mind. He has been here, he has seen our area, and it's a little different than San Antonio where you reside. And so I appreciate your helping me welcome him. Thank you. Also, when I'm talking, bragging about what a wonderful place that Henderson County is to live, work, and raise a family, he understands. He's been there. So just thank you. You know, I have appreciated the opportunity to work with TVCC in the past, and most recently, I guess, was the issue with the funding for health care for your employees. And I'm so thankful that that worked out the way it did, and I was able to be there and to help with it. And I recognize that TVCC does do such an important job in training the workforce for this area. You know, we're recognizing what a great position that Texas is in right now compared to other states. True, we have unemployment. We have families that are, the breadwinner is losing their jobs, and that's devastating to a family. But when you look around and see how much better we are doing right here in Texas than the rest of the nation, I mean, we're compared with other states. And just recently, the Wall Street Journal said that Texas was the very best place in the nation to do business. And so that gives us a sense of pride. We're doing something right. Also, just last week I got word that Forbes magazine had said that we were the 4th lowest in debt in the nation, and the only large state that was in that category. So it's just really important that we continue the policies that have put us in this position. And we thank TVCC for your part in that, in training the workforce for tomorrow so that we can continue to be in that position. I want to apologize to all of the other places of business in the area that would love to have welcomed us this morning and been able to greet the speaker. I'm sorry, we just had to make a few choices there. So since we're running a little short on time, I'm going to go ahead and if you will help me welcome our newly elected Speaker of the House, the Texas House of Representatives, Representative Joe Strauss.
For a nice welcome to Dr. Forgy. I heard you loud and clear. But I also hear from Betty back in Austin on issues that are important to this district. And that's why I'm here today, is to have a chance, as Betty said, to meet the people of her district, to see what she sees on a daily basis and what she communicates with me about. I did, and I will agree with Betty on all of her comments about the relative strength of the Texas economy, about our fiscally prudent budgeting history. I think in this last session of the legislature, we can be very proud that we passed a balanced budget that was good for higher education, it was good for public education, it was good for funding all of the priorities of our state, frankly, but we did it in a fiscally responsible way. While other states were falling apart and trying to figure out what to do about deficits that were in the significant billions of dollars, we did a very, very good job of using all of the available revenues that we had to fund the priorities that are important to people of this district and my district, frankly, in San Antonio. I do understand the value of community colleges. In my district, I represent the Alamo Area Community College District, which is very large and very significant in providing for the workforce of my community. So I'm sure it's very much the same here, just different demographics, different businesses, different careers that I'm familiar with, perhaps. That letter that I signed along with the governor and the lieutenant governor, I think is the responsible thing to do. As I said, we passed a budget that was balanced, but since the time we've come out of the session in June, the comptroller's numbers are a little bit concerning to the state leadership. And rather than ignore it and bury our heads in the sand and wait to come back in the next session and face an even larger hole, we thought it was responsible to take some measured steps today. And so that's why we've asked all of the agency heads, including higher education. We've exempted some of the foundation school program, those things that are constitutionally protected. But everything else is on the table to be looked at. And I think that's what most taxpayers want us to do in government, is to be as efficient with their taxpayer dollars as possible. So that's what we're going to do. And we will take a very good look at the plans that they come back with in higher education, and we're not going to do anything that we don't think is absolutely necessary in order to prepare for next session. But I'm here really just excited to be in part of the state and with my friend Betty. 2010 is an important political year for all of us. So it's a great opportunity for me to spend the day with her and to meet her friends, who I hope will be my friends too from now forward. So thank you very, very much for this warm welcome. I have enjoyed learning about the students here. I met a few, and about the TVCC system. Thank you all very, very much.